Hey everyone, I'm Nick D'Antonio, and this is D'Antone on Drums. Today we're going to talk about why I played it. We're going to talk through the song Fresh Wind by Hillsong. We're also going to talk through how I like to build in certain songs with what I like to call controlled chaos. It's fun for me. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's a huge artistic expression for me, but it doesn't work in every song, and you probably shouldn't do it in every service, and it's definitely something you want to talk to your worship leader, music director, and team about so nobody gets lost. Let's get into it. All right, so we are coming out of another song here. It's in the same key. I always write down the songs and what key they're in, so I know what kind of transition we're going to do in between those songs. I know if it's in the same key, it can be a very smooth transition, and I might play something just like this where I let the cymbals swell. I don't really end it anywhere specific. So that's something that I'm always aware of and thinking about how we're going to do this transition. How do we make this just the most seamless thing? I'm going to start off by doing something I do a lot, and I call it laying down a bed. And it's usually just some cymbals, something really soft that's really at like a level 1 in volume. You almost wouldn't notice that I'm doing it, and that's kind of the point. It's something that I can also build very quickly from. If we're going to go into a big chorus, I'm doing small cymbals in the verse or in the intro, and I can just swell really quick and get to a full volume and come in big. So it does a couple things. It lets me go up and down for where I need to. When the vocals come in, maybe I would back out, and that gives it some kind of dynamic change. If I'm laying down that bed, it sometimes just gives space and room for the other musicians to play and feel like they're allowed to play, and gives them something to build on and sort of just makes it a little more cohesive. So we start off with that. I get the metronome going, and then I'll just kind of keep that going and use the hi-hat just to add a little something, and then we'll go into the chorus. It's going to be a drop chorus, which for us, for me, when I say drop chorus, means we're going to basically drop out. The drums are going to drop out for the most part. Biggest thing is that the volume is going to come down. So let's listen in and see how it goes.
Spirit sound, rushing wind, fire of God, fall within. Holy Ghost, breathe on us, we pray.
Couple things right there. So sometimes I click off there, and I actually didn't catch this until right now. I've listened to this a bunch of times making notes about how I'm making this video, and I just caught this now. I was probably supposed to count off there, and I didn't, either because I'm not sure what happened. Either miscommunication, or maybe I thought he was, and then our main worship leader here is his name's John, and he will not wait. If you don't click, he's going. So I've always got to be ready. So it might have been my mistake. And we've got a really young piano player. He's like 13. He's amazing for his age and how long he's been playing. But it sounds like him and John were off a little bit, and then John had to make the correction there. So that's a correction on the fly. That's a mistake I didn't catch till right now. And then I had to fix my hi-hat. So lots of fun things going on here, but let's get back into it here.
Turn from sin, revival ember smoldering, breath of God, fan us into flame. Sing it again. Spirit sound, rushing wind, fire of God, fall within. Holy Ghost, breathe on us, we pray. As we repent, turn from sin, revival fragrance of heaven.
All right, so here's a drop chorus here. It's gonna be short. Sometimes he'll repeat the chorus. You'll hear him not repeat it here. And what I did, I wasn't sure if he was going to repeat the chorus or just go straight to the verse. Either way, I was ready. I did a swell. You'll see it in just a second. I did a swell, and I was ready to just let that ring out and stay where we were to repeat the chorus. I was also ready to go into the beat. You got to know what beat you're going to play. You need to know your parts. That's really important. I'm going to do a beat going into the musical turnaround and into verse 2 and really through the chorus until we get out of the chorus. I call it a cut beat. That's how it feels to me. What it is in 4/4, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 E and 3 and 4. So the snare comes on the 1 E and on the 4. And I use it in a lot of songs. It's a great way to be able to play at a volume but not drive it forward. It's another way to do chilled dynamics with a medium volume. And I'll do that a lot, but we'll do it in this song. And let's listen in. I'll stop it again before we get to chorus 2.
Heaven, pour your spirit out. Pour your spirit out. Yeah.
I like playing this beat on the rim. I think that's how they do it on the album version, so I just brought that over.
Hearts that burn with holy fear, purify in faith and deed, refiner's fire, strengthen what remains. So we the church who bear your light.
This is also one of those songs, I think they have like 2 drummers or a drummer and a percussionist playing. You'll probably never get it to sound like they do, so do your best. All right, we're about to go into the chorus. I'm going to bring it up to probably a level 5 in volume or so. I'm going to do a fill right here. It kind of brings us in. It's going to give it more energy. And I'm going to listen for the cue if he's going to repeat the chorus, which I believe he does. And he just says, we need. And I know that means we're going to repeat the chorus. And I'm going to bring it up a little more. In that second half, bring it up to like a 6. And more fills. I'm going to try and keep that fill or that feel on the snare. Keep that cut beat feel on the snare while adding some toms, adding some more cymbals. I'm trying to build it up without going too far. This is a song I know I want to hit every single dynamic level there is. And I've got to hold it back all the way until we get to the tag after the chorus, after the bridge. So I'm finding ways to give it different dynamics while not letting it go too far ahead of where the song needs to be in terms of volume and intensity and all of that. So let's get back into it right here.
We need a fresh wind, the fragrance of heaven. Pour your spirit out, pour your spirit out. A holy anointing, the power of your presence. Pour your spirit out, pour your spirit out.
Bring it up a little here. All right, we're about to go into the interlude here. And I'm going to straighten it out. I'll give you the straight beat. So the snare is going to be on 2 and 4. And again, I'm bringing it up from where I would say we're at a 6 now. I'm going to bring it to a 7. The straight beat is going to give me more intensity without volume. Although you could give it volume, and I do a little here as well. And again, I'm trying to hold back for later. I know I've got a long way to go, and I don't want to get there yet. I don't want to wear out people's ears and give the song somewhere to get to later. Also, I'm going to do a build up and I'm going to not play the one. That's something you got to work out with your team, worship leader, music director. You don't want to let them hang where they all come around and land on the one of the beat, and you're not there. So I'm going to do what we call a pull off, and that's we pull off and play everything, usually 16th notes, right up and until you get is 40anda, and sort of let that thing. That's just something I like to do. It's fun. We'll do that from time to time. Put it in different songs. Just something to keep things fresh for us. And then in the interlude, well, let's get to the interlude first, then we'll talk more about the bridge. Nice and straight. So there, I actually played a crash, but I didn't play the kick, so that still works. That's, purely my artistic brain doing something I think is going to sound good. There's a lot of ways to do that kind of pull off. That's how I did it. And I played a little the cymbal in there, just I thought it sounded good. I don't know. So this is the bridge. I believe we're going to do it 3 times. First time is just going to lay out and really do almost nothing, and then I'm going to start to build it. What I call this controlled chaos. This is something my worship leader actually likes, which is great because I love it. I would play it in a lot more songs, and I would do this kind of stuff all the time. And I'd probably do another round, another bridge while doing this. I like to take my time when I build back in, probably too often. My worship leader is a good balance for that. He lets me know when I'm taking too long to get there. But I love this. And there's really no right or wrong way. And this is something you should practice. And if you're too weird with it, you're going to throw your team off. It's actually going to be distracting. I don't think it's distracting in this example. And my worship leader likes it, so we're good. And so really I'm just going to hit toms and cymbals and kick and sort of build it wherever I feel. And if I did this 10 times, I'd probably do it a little bit differently every time. But it's a little bit chaotic, and I could take it a lot farther, and maybe sometimes I do and will. Something I just like to do for fun anyway is, at least in practice, I don't really do this in the service, but if I can play some odd syncopation or odd time or some weird long fill that doesn't feel like it's in time, I love doing that to my friends and musicians in the worship team. I like to see if I can throw them off. I know where the one is, but I try to make it feel like I don't. So you don't want to go that far where people are like, what is happening? If people are getting this face, there's a thin line between like what the heck confused face and like that stank face where like, that's good. So you want to hit them in the stank face and not in the confusion. What the heck is going on? That's not the face you want to see. So maybe try it a few times, talk about it with your worship leader, work it out, see if it works. And it may not work for every song, and probably shouldn't do it. It's not something you should overdo. So I'm going to build it chaotically, and then I think on the third time, just going to build it with 16th notes, and I'm kind of going to I'm going to go up a little bit and then down and then up a little more and then down a little bit, but I'm still over the whole last bridge. I'm building up in volume and intensity, but I'm sort of giving it steps just because it's a lot. You could build it just 16th notes just in a straight, dynamic line, and that's fine. I didn't do that here. I'm kind of working my way up. Until we get back to the chorus, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I have this half ring that I just put on the snare. Kind of fattens the snare up a little bit. I do that sometimes. Praise, sons and daughters sing. We Here it starts, the chaotic build. All right, so we get to the chorus. Nice, big, strong. I'm still holding a little bit back because I know we're still going to a tag, and that's where I want to get to 10. So I'm trying to beat a 9 right here. And it's important you know where you're going. It's important to know all this stuff so you can sort of plan this out as the song is going along. I play this beat. It goes like this. 2, 3 on the kick. Boom. Boom, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. And that's something I've worked out with the bass player. He knows I'm going to play it, and I play it every song. We get to this part in the song, and he plays his part that fits this perfectly. Those parts should fit together, bass parts and kick drum parts. You can pull one out, but it's got to be pretty close, and it's got to sound good. Maybe he'll play an extra note where I don't play, and that's still fine, or I'll play an extra kick and he'll just play one. He won't play it on that exact. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we're playing together. We know what to expect. And then we're gonna go. I'm gonna do a little bit of a little chaotic fill into the last part of the song. That's tag, big, strong, lots of energy, everything I've got to finish this off, and this is where I've been building to the whole song. And you don't have to play it like I did, but this is how I did it, and I like it. But I wish you could hear the guitar at this part. All right. That was everything. So I gave it everything I had there. And like I said, this is my intermix that you're getting. So I wish I had the guitar out better in that part. I'm sure he's playing something sweet. But either way, that's how I did it. And then we came down, and I didn't play. I just sort of ended with a kick. And sometimes I'll do that too, depending on how I'm bringing the song down. And in this circumstance, I didn't play a crash on the 1. I did play the 1, so it's not a pull-off. It's just a non-crash ending. And that's just an artistic choice that I made. I like doing that from time to time. So that's the whole song. I'm going to come back for part 2 because no one needs, a 60-minute video. I'm going to come back for part 2. We actually go into a bit of free worship here. I make the choice to keep playing and to keep playing strongly. I could have gone a lot of different ways. I'm going to talk about what I did, why I did it, how I did it in part 2. So if you liked this, please hit like, please subscribe. Please share with your friends. If you know someone who would enjoy this video, this is why I'm doing it. I want to share what I know with other drummers. So please share it with worship leaders that may have teams that could benefit from it. So please do all those things, and we'll see you next time. Let's hope I was recording.